you pulled away or if you, couldn't make the call for some reason. So I try and record everything so that you can look back and think, oh yeah, what did she say at this? So let's get started. My name is Noelle Dentino. I'm owner of Scribble Time, a center for early learning, and I want to welcome all of you today. And we know how important building enrollment is to you because it's just as important as it is to me and my sister. Enrollment grows as potential clients tour your center and like what they see. It grows when parents see it day in and day out and talk about it with their friends and hopefully talk about it on Facebook. To close the deal with a potential client, we have to see why they are going to choose us from the first center, the first point of contact, to the tour at our centers. And today, I'm going to show you a new way you probably haven't thought about to manage your center so people see why they choose you. But first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. This is my sister and I. I'm the older one. My sister and I are 10 years apart, and one afternoon we were having lunch with my dad. I had just gotten laid off from a corporate job and in financial institution, and my sister was a child care center director in Massachusetts. And we were both unhappy. I didn't know what I wanted to do. She was unhappy in her job. And my dad says, why don't you open up a child care center together, and Noelle can handle the business side, and Sarah can manage the children's side. So we talked about it a little bit and then kind of brushed it off, because I personally could never imagine doing what people do in the classroom. I think teachers are amazing, and I couldn't think about doing the things they do. And Sarah couldn't think about working in the office. So we went home, and on the way home I got to thinking that I bet it could work. So by the end of the week, we had already had a business plan and we were ready to go. So we created this company, Scribble Time, a center for early learning. We're located in North Attleboro, Massachusetts. It's our hometown. Our main goal was to have high-quality child care center like no other in our area. We toured centers 30 miles from us and saw what was offered. We talked to parents who use child care and found out what they wanted. And that's how we based our model. We were very fortunate to fill up quickly. We expanded in 2 months. And right today, we started out with a license for 37, and today we have a license for 113. And we have enough students that we have 154 in our center. And these are just some pictures of our center. We had 4 classrooms, and now we have 9. We have 28 teaching staff. God help all of us, right? These are just some different pictures. So like I said in the beginning, we began helping new child care centers open, but then we kept getting the letters upon letters of child care centers closing, and I couldn't take anymore, because I know that with the business knowledge I have and everything my sister has taught me in the last 9 years about child care, that we could make a difference, not only in Massachusetts, but in your centers all across the country. Child care and the career paths of teachers are my passion. I absolutely love watching a teacher who is failing in the classroom teach her the skills and some tools to help her succeed, teach her class, elevate the student, and then get the parents talking about it. It is literally the most amazing thing to me, and I know I can help you with it too. And I truly believe that centers close because of lack of education in the business sector. And for that, I have been lobbying at the State House in Massachusetts. I just testified a few months ago that we need to really take early ed classes and business classes and pair them up across the country, not just here, and pair them together so that you have more tools as directors and owners to get inside those centers and really figure out ways to make it more efficient and to really help your teachers. So this is our front door. We have 2 doors, one to Flip My Center and one on the other side to the Child Care Center. So what we've done is we take everything I teach, including the using checklist, is systems we already have in place in our center. And I like to take what I have and teach it to all of you. So let's get started. Today I'm going to go over a recent parent survey that shows you why using checklists is going to help you build enrollment. And then I'm going to give you a plan to implement it. And while I'm here, I want to tell you that in the chat box over here where we would just typing where we are all from, if you have a question, stop me and I will question. So let's get started. In a recent survey we did of parents, we asked one question. When choosing a child care center, what is the number thing you look for? And the interesting answer, it was so amazing to me because I was assuming certain things were going to pop up, and there was no clear winner. There was 9 in the top 3. So there were 3 ties across the board for first, second, and third. The first place winners for that topic was caring teachers, a clean center, and a structured environment. This quote summed it all. Structure, consistency, cleanliness of the center, and a loving and caring staff. Second place came in with safe, the curriculum's important, and consistency. And third place was trustworthy, positive environments, and positive relations between the staff and the families and the children. What are parents looking for? Look at this list. These characteristics need to show through your tour. They need to show on the phone. They need to show every single day when a parent walks into your center. The more they see of things, the more they're going to say, you know, when it comes up at a birthday party or at their son's soccer game or at a swimming class, they're going to talk about what their kids do. They're going to talk about where their kids go to school, and these things are going to show up. They need to show up. And so when you show the parents these things, they are going to be more apt to talk about it. We can pay for ads, we can book tours, but it's going to take more than that. And you need to deliver on these expectations from the parents as directors and owners. Easier said than done, huh, ladies? So let's hit clean. This is what this seminar is all about. Clean and organized are what parents are looking for. Easier said than done. Getting every classroom you manage is perfect, and showcase ready is very hard to do. So in the chat box right now, I want you to type in how many classes you manage in your center. After many trainings and figuring out how to get it consistent, we thought, you know, how about something visual? So we hung up signs in the classrooms on what needed to be done. And you know what? That still wasn't working. We needed more visual cues to get things done and make it more interactive. How can we get a consistent, clean classroom using a checklist? It's simply a process that you're going to break down in steps by steps, days of the week. You know, this right here, why use the checklist? It's the best way to possibly communicate with your employees on a day-in, day-out basis. If you are a teaching director, there's no way you can have a center with 7 classrooms, you're teaching in one of the rooms, and the other 6 are going to just do what you know, how you want things run. Same thing as if you're a director not in a classroom. You can sit there and you can communicate in a staff meeting what you expect, but at the end of the day, they're not going to get it done your way. There's going to be internal fighting on the teams, as we all know. Someone's going to step up and do a little bit more than anybody else, and we need to come together and figure out a way to get them to, to do what they need to do. Using a checklist makes it more efficient because it's you telling them what you expect, because we are the people that talk to the parents and the potential clients, and we know exactly what they're looking for. A teacher's aide doesn't do the same things that we do. So we need to, this checklist creates more efficient environment. Holding accountability with a checklist. It's really difficult in the classroom, as we all know, that you have, everyone's supposed to clean, but either the lead teacher will step up or an aide will step up, and it's never equal. And using a checklist also gives leverage to the lead teacher. And I'm calling the lead teacher the person in charge of the classroom, the head teacher in your classrooms. It gives them leverage because it's really hard for them sometimes if they're working in a room with one or two other people. They got a float coming in covering lunch breaks. No one's listening to them. They leave a note and say, oh, will you guys clean the room? You hang a checklist up, what's going to happen is it's going to give accountability to everybody. So let's get into it. Here's a checklist. First, you have to go through, this is how you're going to start, every single classroom and common area in your center and come up with a list of checklists you need to develop. So for the common area, our goals, this is the common area one on the right, our goals are to go, to be clean and organized. So when a new client and every customer walks in, I want the thing to stick out the most right when they walk in is how clean and organized it is. So the checklist is hung in the office, and we set up daily and weekly tasks that need to be done. For the classrooms, it's a checklist to get this done. There's lots to get done, as you know. Not every classroom has every checklist. It's based on how the room runs. But everyone has a cleaning checklist. You can have lists like cleaning, rest time checklist, downtime checklist. A downtime checklist is, say, in the morning, you normally get a lot of kids, but for some reason today, you only have 2 children and you have 4 staff. At that point, go into the downtime checklist and begin doing things that you wish you could get done during the day when the kids weren't there. So every single classroom has one of those hanging up in it, and when we're under, way over ratio, they will end up hitting the downtime checklist. And if I walk in and see them not doing it, I'll say, oh, we should hit the downtime checklist for the teacher, get things started. I also have an opening checklist, like what's expected in the morning when you open, and what's expected when you close. When you see or hear from someone that a process isn't working, we try to implement a checklist to fix process, set expectations, and delegate the work evenly among the staff. Let's take a closer look at one. So this is a rest time duties checklist. This is a hot topic for me because for almost 2 hours a day we have downtime, if that's what you want to call it, when the children are sleeping. So what we'll do is we'll present this rest time checklist to them. Teachers were getting what needed to be done and checking the sleeping children, but then they were just sitting around or coloring things. The leads would be at lunch and come back, and they still have huge lists of things to do because someone forgot to do something. And I don't have to get into that with you because I know you get that. So we thought it would be best to put in place a checklist because usually a floating teacher comes in and out of these rooms for lunch breaks. This also eliminates 2 people in a room at rest playing tug of war over who's going to do what. So what we have here is this is a rest time duties checklist, and it says at the top, number 1 cleaning list to be completed each day, every day first. So you don't touch anything else in the class until you hit this during rest time. So once the kids are down. So every day the plates have to get washed. We wash the toothbrush holder and disinfect it. We empty and wash the trash cans in the classroom and the bathroom. We wash and sanitize the area around the paper towel dispenser and the soap dispenser. The floor gets swept. And then we wash the tables and chairs and then disinfect them. So that's every day all these things get done. And then you start seeing these big blocks. And it means that every Monday, see how this isn't grayed out, they're going to wash and sanitize the step stool, just on Mondays. The next one on the list is wash hallway wall. So right outside the classroom, our classrooms have to wash the wall, where the handprints would be. So they do this on Wednesdays, and they also restock supplies on Wednesdays and Fridays. They check all the children's extra clothes and diapers on Thursday. They'll wash the bathroom on Thursday and Friday. They'll clean the bathroom and follow the bathroom cleaning checklist every day, and they'll file artwork in the bin every day. So what happens is if it's my day, they'll divide the tasks up, whoever's in the room, and they'll just go down the list. And so once you complete wash plates, I'm going to put an N and a D here so that people know that I can write. It's something new I learned to do with this. So I'll put my initials there so that they know, oh, I did that. And when the lead teacher comes back in, she can say, oh, look at, what, something happened with something. Oh, who cleaned it? Oh, it was this person. You can go back and ask them, a question. This is nighttime duties. My biggest thing is when, like I said, when you walk into the center in the morning or anytime, I like it decluttered. So one of the last tasks that we do at the end of the night is declutter and wash the tops of all the shelves so it looks presentable. I always say it looks showpiece ready and my center is ready to shine every time a client walks in. And, they take the trash out and wash the cans. We wash and stack the chairs. We spray the toys with multiple bleach. We update the attendance sheet for the following day. They'll empty the bleach bottles. We'll wash and sanitize the chalkboard and empty the laundry bag, or send the laundry bag up to the front. They're nothing crazy. So how do you begin? First, you came up with your list that we just talked about. What checklist do you need? So I'm going to suggest to you to start with every classroom needs a checklist. So if Michelle, you have 7 classes, you need 7 checklists. And I have to tell you that checklists have to be, they can be the same from classroom to classroom. So you kind of come up with a standard one, and then you go from there because, maybe your toddler room doesn't have a step stool, but your pre-K room does. So you'll add and subtract what's needed. So what we do is we first create it. So you as the director or owner create what you expect. What do you want washed? We have centers that we want washed, whatever it is. So that, and then after you've done creating it for the classroom, we have the lead teacher or whoever is familiar with the process in that room to review it and see if it makes sense. The next thing you do is you have to introduce this process to your staff. Because as we know, it sometimes is a little difficult. They're creatures of habit. It's something new that they're not expecting. But I promise you that once you get this in there, they're going to love it because it's going to take off some of them that have been carrying the load. It's going to spread it around, and they're going to be happier in a cleaner environment. So what I do is say we're introducing checklists throughout the center to help us get things done and make sure our center shines in the eyes of our clients. This checklist is going to help you know what's expected by the center and the classroom. It's like another form of communication between all of us. As you work through the checklist now or in the future, and you notice a step missing or something not working, just say something. These can be changed and adjusted to meet the needs of your classroom. They're in place for all of us. Either a team leader or a director will let you know who's responsible for what checklists. Or if you are covering in a classroom for a teacher, it will help you with the classroom schedule and process. And as we complete the task, just simply initial your initials next to whatever you completed. And I know that this is difficult. I don't know if I can zoom in. Maybe not. It's not looking too good. So what we do is we hang checklists literally in every classroom. So this is just an example of one. And you can either hang them up. We laminate some of them and use a dry erase marker. We were at a teaching store recently and found these vinyl pockets that we just stick the things in, and you can literally write on it. And then we Velcroed a dry erase marker on it. Now I'm going to go crazy with the highlighter. They need, once we laminate it, once it's in the classroom, once the teachers know exactly what is expected, then these things are, this is it. This is what we're using. So they need to be implemented right when you bring them into the room. And now what comes the most important part ever in this process of the checklist is you. You need to recognize whoever manages the classroom to check the classrooms to make sure the list is getting done. You can't just walk by and say, yeah, I just saw it, here, everything's checked off, we're good. We used to use check marks, but now we use initials. So the pictures are outdated because someone was just going down and going check, 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 and now we're holding accountability on the name. If I look and see that, to me, I would assume the classroom is clean, but as we know as leaders don't assume anything. So I kind of check it. Does the classroom look decluttered when I walk in the morning and someone signed off the night before that they did it? If I see that, I'm going to walk right up to Miss Bridget and say, hey, Bridget, I just want to let you know that this classroom looked awesome when I walked in this morning, and I appreciate you decluttering it before you left at the end of the night. Thank you very much. Because as teaching, you're throwing things on counters, you're taking toys, you have paperwork. So at the end of the day, it all goes to a place where it belongs, and the center looks clean. And I like that for my clients to see that, and now I'm going to recognize Bridget doing it. Your center will not shine if a teacher is checking off clean the dramatic play center, but when you check it, it's full of dust and you don't say anything. You need to step up and say, you know what, I see that you checked it off, and maybe we have different interpretations of what a clean center looks like. So let me show you. When I clean a shelf in a center, I take all the toys off, I wipe all the way back to the corners, wipe the whole shelf down so there's dust free. I wash the bin, and then I wash the toys. I put the toys back in the bin, put it back on the shelf. That's a clean shelf. Simply show them, because your version of clean and your version of clean is completely different, just like probably yours and mine is different. So that's why these checklists are clearly setting the communication tone for your center. Your center, the other thing that we have, we call it the observation, physical observation, and we have a checklist for that too. So it goes through all these things as a director, but every day I like to get into it. So as you notice the classroom following the list, or even if the classroom has always been clean and they are using the list, you need to talk about it, reinforce it. The most important thing to remember is to be specific. Just don't say, oh, your room looks so clean today, because your clean and my clean's different, and you might not realize it, but maybe there's shelves that are dirty, and you're saying, oh, that's acceptable, but we want to be so specific. Miss Ashley, you take such pride in your classroom. Your room looks so organized because everything has a place and there is no clutter. Thank you for all you do. Or, I love giving tours in your room. Your center always has the toys in labeled bins and shelves, and the children always know where to put things. I appreciate the hard work it takes to keep this up. I verbally tell them. I write a note to them, and if I walk in the morning and I see these rooms looking clean, if I see a thematic classroom, whatever I'm looking for, I might write a little note and stick it somewhere so during the day they'll find it. I even write notes and I hang them up in the lobby, so everyone, when they walk in, they can see. I call it active caring, and if you go on my Facebook page, you'll see our board up there. So as we know, it's not all rosy, and everyone doesn't do what's expected. There'll be times when you observe a room and it's not up to your expectations, but the checklist probably will be signed off. Make notes of who checked off doing it. Let's say the baseboards are so dusty and you can see it as you walk through. I always first check in with the lead teacher, and I say to her, what's going on? I just want you to know I'm seeing like tons of dust on and she might say, I leave the checklist out for the rest time duty because I'm at lunch during rest time, and they're not all following it. So what I'll do is I'll ask her to coach them. So when she comes back in and she sees that she's not getting, it's not clean, she can say, hey, you know what, during rest time, I really need you guys to clean this and do this, and show them how to do it. If she comes in like a week later when it's the next time to clean the checklist, then you sit there and you say, okay, still having problems with Bridget. She's not, cleaning like she needs to be during rest time. So then I give them time to talk. And if the lead teacher's uncomfortable talking, I'll join her. And I'll sit there and we'll go through. And she could say to us, you know what, the reason why I don't clean is because, Johnny won't go to sleep and he screams and cries the whole rest time. So I then explain to her, come find me, call me on the intercom system. I will come help you. Maybe there's certain things we can do so that they can get to the rest time list. Or maybe she's the only one cleaning and everyone else just sits there while she's doing it. So, I need to give them the tools and the communication to let them know, because sometimes when they're not doing it, it's it's not all because they don't want to. It's because they're struggling with finding the time to do it. And as leaders, we need to coach them and mentor them and teach them how to do it. So say we continue, the person who's not cleaning and it's still not getting cleaned properly. Mention what you observed again and say, and talk to them again and say, what's going on? And they might just say, oh, I don't know. And so at that point, if they're not wanting to keep up with your checklist, we then put them in a verbal warning, which is simply, we say to them, look, if you can't keep up with the checklist and can't give us a reason why they can't get done, then I'm going to have to write you up and put you on written warning. And, maybe they don't care about that, or maybe that will trigger them to get doing it. And I say to them, look, if you are struggling with something, you have to let me know. Other than that, I'm expecting this to get done because the state requires us to keep the center clean, and I require my center to be clean so that I can continue selling it to customers and continue paying paychecks. So say you get to another point, a week or so down the line, it's still not getting done. That's when they go on written warning. And in Massachusetts, I just shared this with people a few weeks ago on another call. In the state of Massachusetts, if you you earn vacation time every week in my company. So they've earned time all the way through March 17th. But they haven't earned their time yet because they haven't worked yet in April, May, and June. So I'll put them on written warning for 30, 60, 90 days. And during that time period, I stop their earning vacation time. So now instead of earning, say 7 days, now they're only earning 6 days because they were on written warning and I had to keep talking to them about it. It just is a way to tie their paycheck to the expectations. And every time I meet with them, I document it and write it down. But I am going to tell you, while I did go through that, I really have found excellent success in the checklist because it really gives people, a guideline as to what's expected. So the plan is to develop checklists for cleaning and organization. I hang checklists in the supply cabinet so they know where things go. Or you can hang it in the kitchen, in the bathroom, how you expect the bathroom to be cleaned. We talk about them with the team at the next staff meeting. And as you implement these across your center is going to change right before your eyes. Teachers are going to get more engaged because leads love the checklist because it's sort of like a safety blanket on getting things done if they get nervous directing others. Employees are going to love being recognized by you and the lead teachers. When a lead teacher comes back and says, oh, I cannot even believe you guys got that whole list done. I really appreciate it. And maybe she can hang up a note in the lobby and show everybody that she appreciates the work that gets done. It's going to re-energize your staff. It's going to motivate them to get it done. The center is going to look cleaner, and the enrolled families are going to notice this. And believe me, potential clients are going to notice it too. I just gave a few tours this last week, and every single one of them pointed that out about my center. They said, you have the cleanest center we've ever toured, and which was very nice to hear. And I owe a lot of it to this checklist system because I truly believe that this is a system that is getting me the consistent environment, and the lead teachers absolutely love it. So does anybody have any questions about the checklist? I really think it's like a great way for you to up-level your center, or if your center is already perfect and clean, it's a great way to keep it that way because in a matter of time, it can just go south. Each month, I offer free trainings just like this. I think a few weeks ago I did staff meeting training, and I've done a time management one in the past. So how I can help you is if you keep following me on Facebook, keep getting these emails. I'm going to send you an email after this with the recording so that you have it. And I want to just try and help you as much as we possibly can. So follow me on Facebook and Pinterest. Our Pinterest board. So if you go onto that, you'll see a bunch of reorganized boards. Check out the lawn marketing. I'll type it in the, everyone's like, what is lawn marketing? Lawn marketing is like things you can put out on your front lawn instead of your now enrolling sign to draw attention to your building. Michelle, for closing checklists, usually there is only one staff member and their issue is cleaning and still caring for the children. All right, Michelle. So what you do is say you close at 6. So if you close at 6 and the person, if the person before that goes, once they go down to one staff, there must have been 2 staff at one point. That second person, that's when you manage. The checklist has to be done by, let's say, 5:30. The second person leaves, and now the last half hour you're only with one. You have to manage when the checklists have to be done at what time. So clearly that one staff person can't get it all done and clean. So you throughout the day. So as rooms are closing, they're completing their checklist. So maybe, like I'm thinking, we close in a preschool 1 classroom, so they clean. The second person cleans all the centers first, except for the table. And the kids are sitting at the table the last 15 minutes with table toys and puzzles. The entire classroom is clean, sprayed down, whatever needs to be done to it. And then as the kids leave, only thing left is the tables. So you have to manage when does it get done. It's not like right when the last kid leaves, you then start the checklist. As numbers start dropping, we're hitting the checklist. I hope that answers your question. Keep asking if it doesn't. All right, so this is just like my class for the leadership line. And I want to share with you that we have quite a few directors from across the country, which I'm loving. We meet once a month on the Wednesday, and I do this type of training, but with this training, you're just getting the video and me explaining it to you. If you sign up for our full leadership line by Friday, you're going to get all the using checklists to build enrollment, all the handouts, all the downloads. You're getting all my checklists. You're getting the downloads to start your checklist. You can start them today or tomorrow. You get monthly access to this training like this to build enrollment, motivate your teachers, and make your center more efficient. And I do not set up a curriculum for the leadership line. I'm constantly asking you guys, what are you struggling with? And then take that information, and I am building a class on it. So last month, people were really struggling with time management. So I have a time management system that we use at my school. So what I did was I put that into a lesson, and I'm going to give that as a bonus. So if you sign up by Friday for the leadership line, which is $37 a month. Now you can cancel at any time, and I'm going to tell you that I haven't had anybody cancel yet, because for less than, it's $1.22 a day, you can get access to this. We get a private Facebook group where we can post things. If somebody's seeing great results on Facebook for a post, we're sharing the links in there. I'm sharing articles. I upload all these documents to our private Facebook group. And we meet, like I said, the first Wednesday of the month. If you can't make it, I record it. You get the presentation, you get the workbooks, and the downloads. And as a bonus, the first 10 centers to sign up by Friday are going to get a free power hour, which is my absolute favorite thing that I do. I get to spend 1 hour on the phone with you, talking through whatever issues you possibly have. It could be staffing, marketing, enrollment building, parent issues, parent handbook. You can pick my brain. I have been leading teams of people for over 20 years. I love being a leader. I love managing people. I know how to motivate a staff, even on the dollars that we all have. And I also know great ways for you to increase your revenue without having to add more kids in there. So I hope that you take advantage of this deal, because for $37 a month, I know I can help you. Does anybody have any questions about using checklists? I hope you implement them. Before tonight, after I download the video, I am going to email it to you so that you can start as soon as possible. You can re-watch the video. You can, see what else you can do. Maybe this list you can think of. And I hope that you join me on the leadership line. Like I said, it's been a resource and support and advice from us. Well, we've been in business 9 years doing this, but like I said, I've had 20 years in management. So I know I can help you be successful and not be so stressed in your job. So I really appreciate you coming. I've enjoyed talking about this, and I absolutely love watching you guys on Facebook interact with us. I think that together we can fill up every single center that we have across the country in the United States, and I think that together we can do it and show other industries. If we band together, we can come out of the recession, we can fix things, and I think that a great place for you to start today is using checklists. So have a great day. I greatly appreciate you joining me and asking questions and listening to what we have to say, and I hope you have a great week at your center. Bye, everybody.